Hello, Giant fans and football fans. Welcome to Giants Grit, your fan channel with rational and reasonable reviews and views without all the theatrics. Please like and subscribe to our channel so we can send the other fan channels that are AI created down on the YouTube algorithm. So without further ado, week 5, Giants 29-20 over the Seattle Seahawks in Seattle. It was 10-10 at the half. The Giants outplayed Seattle really well. But my problem with it...
What is your problem?
My problem with it is Seattle could have stole the game at any time. At the end, they almost did, and they were saved by a special team play, a great special team play. Isaiah Simmons blocked the field goal, and wide receiver Bryce Ford-Wheaton returned it for a touchdown, like 70, 80 yards for a touchdown with less than 2 minutes in the game. So that gave them a 7-point lead, or excuse me, a 9-point lead that, Seattle obviously couldn't overcome. So, but that special teams play was the big difference, of course, but the Giants easily outplayed them the whole game. So for my review, I will say overall, let's start with the special teams. The special teams, not only did they win the game, but they played well on coverage, and their kicker was 3 of 3, Greg Joseph, and the Scottish Hammer, their punter, had a 59-yarder to pin Seattle inside their 5-yard line on that last drive right before the aforementioned field goal block. But unfortunately, Seattle took it from their own 5 and all the way down until the field goal attempt. But hey, that's not the punter's fault. So, but kudos to the special teams. It's been a long time since the special teams won a game for the Giants. So moving along to the offense, Daniel Jones, I've been picking on him all year, and I probably will again, but got to give credit where credit's due. He played a good game. I believe he was 23 of 34 passes for like 257 yards, 2 TDs, no interceptions. He rushed for almost 40 yards. My complaint is not with him. It's just I think Coach Daboll is just running him too much. Now, I know a few of them he ran on his own when the protection broke down, but I don't think he's going to last. And there are just too many run calls for any quarterback, much less a quarterback who's coming off of an ACL last year, and he's got 2 neck injuries, including last year he got the neck injuries. I just don't like the way Daboll's calling for too many quarterback runs. You're gonna lose your quarterback. So anyway, but again, Daniel Jones, he played well. He made good reads. He threw a nice 41-yarder to Slayton in the third quarter, 41-yarder, and then he had a nice 30-yard touchdown throw to Slayton. Led him nicely. Even the second quarter, when he threw the touchdown pass to Wan'Dale Robinson, that was sweet. He put it right in his breadbasket. So, yeah, Daniel Jones deserves credit. So, yeah, good game from him. Very good game. Good game. Moving on to the running backs. Now, starter Devin Singletary was out. Rookie Tyrone Tracy, well, the announcer said rookie Tyrone Tracy got the start, but Eric Gray got the start. I mean, I got to trust my eyes. Eric Gray had like 3 catches in the first quarter, including back-to-back like 18 and 17-yarder to convert a long third down. So he looked good there. And then at the end, he had that big fumble at the 1. A lot of people will say that he got over the plane and it should be a touchdown Giants and not Seahawks. But I mean, if I'm being rational, I would probably have to say that Seattle did get that touchdown legitly. So anyway, back onto the running backs. But yeah, Tyrone Tracy, 18 carries for 129 yards, had a couple catches, look good. He looks good, and he should be the starter moving forward. I'm pretty sure they're going to go back to Devin Singletary, but yeah, Tyrone Tracy, he looked strong, his vision was good, he looked quick, and it's not that he's powerful, but he gets tackled and he just kind of moves forward. Not like a bang and moves forward, but he's slippery, he's strong, and he just looks like a nice running back, and I think they should go with him as a starter moving forward. I know they were a little worried about pass protection, but that didn't seem to be a problem this game. So, and now moving on to wide receiver. Their best offensive player, rookie Malik Neighbors, was out with the concussion that he got last game against Dallas. Darius Slayton stepped up, 8 catches for 122 yards, and including the 30-yard aforementioned touchdown. Looked good. He had a couple drops early in the game, but yeah, he played really well. He was playing with a partial cast on his right thumb. So yeah, kudos for Darius Slayton for stepping up. Wan'Dale Robinson continues to have the same game he always has. Gets a bunch of first downs, get a bunch of clutch catches, and he also seems to drop a couple of. He dropped a big third down pass this game, just like he did last game. And some of them are his fault, some of them aren't. Daniel Jones has got to kind of lead him a little better, but I'm not picking on Daniel Jones this game. So yeah, Wan'Dale, he had about 7 catches for about 60 yards, and he had a touchdown. Good game as always. That's the only running back, and Eric Gray only had a couple of carries, and he had 4 catches for the game, and that was it. Oh, sorry, that was running back. No other wide receivers caught passes, not even targets. Isaiah Simmons, they activated for the game. No catches, no targets. Jalen Hyatt, he had a lot of snaps, but no targets. At least I missed them if they did. So really hoping they can work him in there. So moving on to the tight ends, the announcers said that the Giants were last in the NFL on tight end catches combined, only 5 through 4 games. Rookie Theo Johnson had 5 catches for 48 yards by himself. Bellinger had 1 catch. But yeah, really pleased that Theo Johnson, because he's also blocked well. So he was a big reason why Tyrone Tracy was able to get the edge a couple times. And so did Bellinger. So yeah, I'm really pleased. I hope they start using Theo Johnson, because he could be a weapon. He's a nice big target for there. I'd like to see some of Wan'Dale's catches go to Theo Johnson's way, because I'd rather have a 6'6", 260-pound tight end getting tackled by linebackers and safeties rather than our 5'8", 190-pound slot receiver. So yeah, I mean, I think his only real weakness, if you would be running after the catch. To say he lumbers is like, that's a compliment. So he really needs well, that's not his game. So anyway, so hopefully Theo Johnson gets a lot more action moving forward. I'd like to see him get 5 to 7 targets a game, so he can catch at least from 3 to 6 a game. So moving on to offensive line, I'm really pleased with the offensive line. Excellent pass blocking. Jones was sacked twice, but one was kind of a fluke. He tripped over his offensive lineman's foot, so that was one. And another one they just kind of closed in. So, and then the run blocking, they were horrible against Dallas. Oh, that was more like Dallas just really stepped up their run defense last game, and the Giants' offensive lineman could just not push them at all. So, but here they got some nice blocks, and they had some nice downfield blocking too, especially in the first half, particularly on Eric Gray's screen passes. So, yeah, I hope the offensive line continues to develop. But even if they have a game like this every week, it's more than well enough to win. So, kudos to the offensive line. Good job there. I'm so pleased that the offensive line has looked good. Actually, the whole year. I mean, the run blocking hasn't been great for 3 out of the 5 games, but this game they looked good. So moving on to the defensive line. Dexter Lawrence, what can I say? Dexter Lawrence is a stud, and this is not the Dexter Lawrence channel, but he had a great game, arguably his best game of the season. He got 3 sacks. He caused a couple of the other ones as well, and he probably should get credited with a couple of half sacks himself. So 3 sacks, he's got 6 for the year. If he's not the best interior defensive lineman in the game now, then I don't know who is. He's one of the best players overall in the league. So I'm really pleased that we have him, and moving forward, just hope for good health with Dexter Lawrence, and hope he gets more help from the other interior defensive linemen, which leads to Nacho and DJ Davison, who actually had decent games. Nacho, he had a pass defense, and DJ Davison had 2 sacks. I think one should probably be credited to Kayvon Thibodeau, at least a half a sack, but I think the stats, they gave it to DJ Davison. But nonetheless, Both those defensive linemen played well. They didn't get pushed back. They allowed the inside linebackers to run to the ball, and so Seattle's running game, they didn't get much going on. Giants made good tackles. They weren't getting pushed down the field. There weren't a bunch of missed tackles. So yeah, excellent, good job. I would say the best game by the Giants defensive line. I think even better than the Cleveland game. So getting to the edge rushers, the aforementioned Kayvon Thibodeau, I thought he had a good game. His run containment hasn't been great, and kind of the same thing here, but that was more on Geno Smith running, getting loose and running the ball. But yeah, Kayvon Thibodeau, I thought he had a good game. He had a sack. He probably could have got like a half sack on another one. So, but yeah, overall good pressure, and he's just got to get home a little bit more. But overall, a good game. Same with Brian Burns, including excellent, huge sack on the 4th and 1 when Seattle's second to last drive. That huge sack on 4th down. So it's good to see Brian Burns. They're both getting there. It's just a matter of time. But the thing is, when you got a beast like Dexter Lawrence pushing the middle up there, those edge rushes, they just got to get home more often. So, but I expect them both to have double digits before the year is over. So continued help for them. A little bit of a scare. I think Kayvon Thibodeau got the wind knocked out of him, but he was back in at the end of the game. So moving on to the inside linebackers, Bobby Okereke had a good game. He was able to run to the ball. He forced a fumble in the second quarter when that Tyler Newbern recovered. So yeah, he was able to have a good game. Micah McFadden had his typical Micah McFadden game. He makes a couple of plays and tackles where he just fires at the ball, fires to the ball, and makes a good tackle and holds the runner down, doesn't let him advance. And then he has things where he just misses tackles. It's so common. He'd be an all-pro player if he made half his tackles, but he misses half his tackles. But nonetheless, I think he was hurt in the middle of the game. I'm not quite sure, but he seemed to play in the beginning of the game, and then at the end they put in rookie Darius Moasu. Moasu didn't do anything good or bad, but I didn't see Micah McFadden out there like in the second and third quarters, but he was there in the first and fourth quarters. Moving on to the secondary. Now the secondary, overall, I thought they had a good game. Sure, at the end of the half, they allowed Seattle to march down and get a field goal, a game-tying field goal, so it went in 10-10 at the half. And at the end, when they were at the 5-yard line and we had a 6-point lead, the secondary just gave up big plays. They were in a soft zone. I get it, but still, that could be on the play calling, but still, got to definitely shore it up. But shout out to Deonte Banks. He stepped up his game. He had tough goings, matching up against the previous, going up against Jefferson and Cooper in prior games, and then against Scary Terry of the Washington. So here he had another tough matchup against DJ Metcalf, another top receiver, but he rose to the occasion. Metcalf had a very quiet game. Banks had tackles all over the place, and he had 3 pass defenses. So yeah, definitely his best game of the year. So kudos to Deonte Banks. The other corner, number 2 corner, was Cordell Flott, who also had a tough matchup against Tyler Lockett, who's an excellent receiver. Seattle's got an excellent wide receiver corps. So overall, the secondary to contain them to only basically 13 points. The blocked field goal return is not on the secondary. So Cordell Flott, he had a couple of pass defenses, made some decent tackles. Cordell Flott, though, Tyler Lockett had an excellent game. Not an excellent game, a very good game, but Cordell Flott was up to the challenge. So kudos to him. Hopefully he's CB2 moving forward. And Drew Phillips was back. Rookie Drew Phillips, number 22, looked solid, made his patented hard tackle again, preventing a 3rd down from going too long. So, and Adoree Jackson was back, and he was solid. There was a deep pass play that he helped break up, no pass interference. So, yeah, I was really pleased with the corners in this game. Moving on to the safeties, the 3 safeties that played. Jason Pinnock had a quiet game, but that's not a bad thing. So he did make a nice blitz that caused Geno Smith to throw a 3rd down pass earlier than he wanted to. But other than that, he was pretty quiet. But obviously, he made Smith go to his underneath guys more often than I'm sure he wanted to, and that's with a great wide receiver corps. And Tyler Nubin, the rookie, he got his first turnover with the fumble recovery on the aforementioned when Okereke caused a fumble in the second quarter. So, and he looked solid tackling as well. So solid game from him. And Dane Belton, not too much. He did make one nice open field tackle, but other than that, pretty quiet game. But again, if your safeties are having quiet games and no deep passes are really being completed except if they're in a really prevent zone. So can't complain. So yeah, thumbs up for the secondary. They played well. So overall, again, just to summarize, Giants, they outplayed Seattle. They should have won by more. They needed a huge play by the special teams. Also shout out to Isaiah Simmons, number 19, our nickel linebacker, who made a great play by blocking that field goal, and a heads up by special team wide receiver Bryce Ford-Wheaton and picking that thing up and taking it 70-something yards for the game-sealing touchdown. So overall, hopefully it's something to build upon. We'll see what happens next week. I think I'm gonna have a mock draft. We'll see how the college players are and what I think the Giants should do based on how well the college players are going and what I think they'll do in free agency on this next off season. Might be a little too early, but draft previews are never too early. So thanks again, Giant fans. Please tune in next week for review week 6.